Imagine standing on a battlefield where the people around you are not strangers. They are your friends. They are your relatives. They are your teachers, your peers, the people whom you used to love a lot, the people you once admired a lot, and all out of nowhere, all out of sudden, you are expected to fight with them. You are expected to have a battle with them. Hare Krishna to one and all out there. Well, thousands of years ago, this was the exact question facing Arjuna in the sacred land of Kurukshetra, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He had to fight against his teachers, his relatives, his friends, and his answer was not anger. It was pure confusion. It was pure dilemma. It was perplexity. And that moment of confusion, that moment of perplexity and dilemma became one of the most profound spiritual conversations of the human history, of the humanity, known as the Shrimad Bhagwat Geeta. Kurukshetra was the battlefield of the great Mahabharat war where the Pandavas and the Kauravas stood against each other. And at that exact time, the armies were prepared. The conch shells sounded. The warriors stood on their position. And Arjuna, one of the greatest warrior of the Pandavas, asked Krishna, his charioteer, to take his chariot between the two armies. He requested Krishna to take his chariot between the two armies in order to see the faces of those people whom he was about to fight. When he looked around in order to see the faces of the people whom he was about to fight, he firstly saw Bhishma, the one whom he respected from the deepest core of his heart. And after Bhishma, he saw Dronacharya, his teacher, his profound facilitator. After that, he saw his relatives, his friends, his teacher, and after witnessing all of the faces, his mindset turned upside down because for him it was no longer about victory and kingdom. It had become personal. After seeing the faces of his own teacher, of his own friends, of his own relatives, Arjuna did not want to take part in the fight. He wanted to give up. His hopes were shattered. He was no longer optimistic about winning the fight. For him, the victory was not worth the cost. He hardly doubted. He started to doubt on his decision in order to participate in the fight, in order to fight for his kingdom. Because for him, it was not about victory and kingdom anymore. It had become personal. His hopes were shattered into several pieces. He was no longer optimistic. He was slowly turning into a pessimist. And at that exact moment, when he was about to put his arrow and his bow down, Krishna came on his rescue. He did not only simply tell Arjuna to fight, rather, in the chapter 2 and the verse 2 and the chapter 2 of Shrimad Bhagwat Geeta, Krishna has asked Arjuna, Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupasthitam anarya jushtamasvarya makirti karamarjuna. In this prominent verse, Lord Krishna has asked Arjuna, Hey Arjuna, O Partha, Why are you having dejection and delusion in this certain period of interval? It is neither benefiting the noble ones, nor it is leading to higher realm. It is just bringing disgrace. And in the chapter 2 and the verse 3 of Shrimad Bhagwat Geeta, Krishna has requested Arjuna not to yield cowardice. He has told Arjuna, क्लैप्यमास्मगमः पार्थ नैतत्त्वायुपपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदयदौर्बल्यं त्यक्तो तिष्ठ परन्तप. O scorcher of foes, O Partha, let go of your cowardice, let go of your unmanliness. Do not become a coward. Stand up, drop your inner weakness, and fight for your kingdom, because you are a warrior. You were born as a warrior. You are a Kshatriya, and cowardice doesn't define you. You have to drop your inner weakness. You have to drop your inner fears. And don't be reluctant to fight for your kingdom. Don't be reluctant to fight for your own self-esteem. After that, became Arjuna became less nervous. And Krishna also told Arjuna in the chapter 2, verse 47 of the Shrimad Bhagwat Geeta, one prominent verse which is significant to our lives too, and the verse goes on like this. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhur mate sangostva karmani. In this significant verse of Shrimad Bhagwat Geeta, Lord Krishna has told Arjuna not to take control over the result, but to take control over the action. He has told each and every one of us that we cannot take control over the result, over the outcome, but we can surely take control over the action, over the deeds that we are committing, that we are doing. And that is the main motto of the human life. This one prominent verse is very important to humankind. It is very important to humanity. Imagine in this competitive area where we are just caring about the outcomes, where we are all committed to focusing on the marks, recognition, fame, money, and we are not focusing on the action. This one prominent verse plays an important role in enlightening us on the topic that we do not have over the result, the outcomes, but rather we have the full control over the action, over the things that we are doing, over the actions that we are committing. That's why to do our best, we have to give our best in each and everything that we are doing. Imagine how powerful that idea is today. Today, we all are constantly chasing outcomes. We are only focusing on the result. We are only putting all of our brains into money, mind, success, wealth, fame, and that's all. We think that our life is only confined up to these things. But it is not like that. We must have to do the duties that is ours to do. Do the things that is yours to do. Do it sincerely and do not let the result become the measurement unit of your identity. Do not lower your self-esteem even if you fail, because you have a lot of potential, caliber, and capacity to work on. You still have many things to do in your life, and do not reduce and lower your self-esteem if anything goes wrong in your life. If anything goes wrong with the things that you have done. Perhaps that is why Kurukshetra was not only confined within a historical battlefield, because the real struggle, the real battle was happening inside Arjuna himself. He was caught choosing two options, were either attachment or responsibility, fear or courage, duties or emotion, and these type of conflicts are the things that we are well familiar with. We may never stand in a battlefield carrying a bow and an arrow, but each and every day we face choices in our daily lives, such as choosing between what is wrong and what is right, what we want to do and what we should do, between fear and courage, emotion and duties. Our circumstances might have changed, but human struggles are still the same. That is why Shrimad Bhagwat Geeta stands beyond all of the things, all of the lessons. Kurukshetra was a battlefield, but the real battle was happening inside Arjuna himself. And each and every one of us has our own Kurukshetra within us. That is why Srimad Bhagavad Gita continues to speak all across the world, all across the centuries. And Srimad Bhagavad Gita never asks us, never tells us that life doesn't have problems, that life doesn't have difficulties, but rather it asks us that when life becomes difficult, whom will you become? The warriors on the Kurukshetra were confused. They were baffled, they were bewildered and perplexed. And at that certain point of interval, at that certain point of time, Krishna gave enlightenment to all of the warriors through his wisdom, through his vision, and inspired each and every one to become resilient. That is why, in some form, we all have Kurukshetra within our heart, within ourselves, and we must have to embrace the difficulties of the life and the problem with resilience. We must have to be resilient and have to maintain that calm and composition within ourselves. That is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That is why Srimad Bhagavad Gita speaks all across the world, has spoken all across the centuries so nicely and so vibrantly. Thank you so much.